This video is sponsored by Squarespace. How's it going, everyone? Aldrin Anastasio here with FlytPath.com. Now here we are in the beginning of 2023, and I still get a lot of messages saying, hey, you know what, I'm looking at getting into drones this year. What would be the most affordable, cheapest, bare minimum drone you recommend? And if you guys are familiar with my channel, you guys probably know I would normally always say the DJI Mini 2, just because of all of the functions that it has. Also, the price points have been, coming down. It's been out for a couple years now. And of course, moving into the new year, we do have a new drone, which is the DJI Mini 3. Now, what would I recommend now moving forward between these two drones? What have I been flying a little bit more? Let's go through some of those features where I feel like the Mini 3 now might be that bare minimum drone moving into this year, and there's definitely a few reasons why. But first, a quick message from today's sponsor, Squarespace. And for those who aren't familiar with Squarespace, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that really helps you build your business, build your brand, and your community online. And I was super excited when they wanted to sponsor my video because I've actually been a Squarespace user since 2016. As a traditional graphic and web designer, the one thing that really appealed to me with Squarespace is their design templates. And being a photographer, the one thing I did look for is how am I able to present my photography online to potential clientele. As my business and my brand started evolving, I created my flight case drone bags, and the great thing about Squarespace is that they do have a full e-commerce section. So if you guys want to sell your digital or physical products, you're able to do that through Squarespace. The one thing that's important about having a website is also collecting an email list. And that's one thing that integrates really well. So if you're looking at building up your brand and your social presence, you definitely want to look into Squarespace. And huge thanks to them for sponsoring this video. They're actually giving my viewers a free trial as well as a 10% off your first purchase if you guys use my link down below, squarespace.com/FlightPath. And now back to the video. Now for the first reason why I want to talk about the Mini 3 over the Mini 2 is the camera spec. When it comes to frame rate shooting, those are all pretty much the same, but we do have a bigger sensor on the Mini 3 as well as a wider aperture, which means if you ever find yourself in lower light scenarios, the Mini 3 is going to be the better way to go over the Mini 2. Also, the Mini 3 does have HDR shooting in 24, 25, and 30 frames a second. Next, we'll talk about flight time. And with the Mini 2, it wasn't that bad. I mean, 31 minutes rated, which means technically you'll probably get about a solid 20 minutes of flight time with the Mini 2. But when you jump up to something like the Mini 3, we have a rated 38 minutes on the lower capacity battery, and you have the ability to shoot up to 51 minutes if you get the higher capacity battery. Now, of course, 38 minutes, you'll probably get around high 20s, maybe about 30 minutes. And then with that 51 rated battery, you'll probably get about 40 minutes of flight time with this small drone. Now, the main reason why that flight time difference is a big deal is because these drones are small, which means they will take on a lot of wind. You're going to use a lot more energy out there when you're out flying in higher winds or higher elevation. So anytime you can bump up the capacity or bump up that flight time with something like the Mini 3, it's definitely to the advantage of you because you're not out there worrying so much about I have to bring the drone back too soon. You have that extra flight time, and that's what we get here with the Mini 3. Next thing we'll talk about is the ability to shoot vertical video with the Mini 3 over the Mini 2. Now, I know the vertical video thing is kind of a highly debated thing. People love it, some people hate it, but I think we just can't get over the fact that majority of people, when they start looking at, especially even my own YouTube analytics, everyone or most people are watching on their mobile device. Now, while vertical video is not something you're going to consume if you're watching a lot of YouTube on your TV screen, however, like I said, a lot of the viewers out there are on their mobile phones, which means vertical video is definitely growing in popularity, and you can definitely see it now with a lot of things like TikTok, Instagram Reels, as well as now YouTube Shorts. Now, of course, I'm not going to go away from doing these horizontal, longer form videos, but I do think vertical and mobile content is going to be a staple moving forward as far as getting some information across to you guys in a short form. Next big positive with the Mini 3 that you can't do with the Mini 2 is the ability to use something like this, the DJI RC. Ever since this was released a couple years ago, this has definitely been kind of my go-to type of remote, because with the traditional RC-N1, the one that's actually made for the Mini 2, you still have to put your mobile phone in here, and all that process isn't too bad. However, sometimes when you're out there in extreme cold or heat, your phone will start to dim, and that's something you don't run into with the RC. Plus, you don't have any cables to worry about. Everything's built in here. So having the ability just to have an all-in-one remote as well as your drone makes flying super simple. Next reason why I like flying the Mini 3 over the Mini 2 now is the tone of the propellers or the noise of the drone when it's up in the air. Now both drones are pretty quiet up in the air. However, with the Mini 3 series, you can definitely tell there's a lower tone with the Mini 3 and the Mini 3 Pro compared to the Mini 2. As drones start to be a little bit more common in the airspace, sometimes you want to stay a little under the radar. You don't want to hear that winding noise right near somebody or near you if you're out there flying. So anytime you can bring that noise down to be a little less annoying, it's definitely going to be a positive for the drone operator. And the Mini 3 definitely has that lower tone compared to the Mini 2. And finally, price $449 for the Mini 2 package with the RCN1, and we have $559 for the Mini 3 with the RCN1 package. It's about $100 difference. Now, while $100 is still $100 difference, I think what you're getting with that amount is still worth it. You're getting a bump up in the camera. You're getting 2-year newer technology versus the Mini 2. We have the ability to shoot vertical on the Mini 3, that lower tone as far as the sound goes, and just an overall more refined drone than the Mini 2. Now, I'm definitely not going to go back and say the Mini 2 is not worth it. This thing is a beast, and there's a ton of deals out there. So, of course, if you're talking about is the Mini 2 still worth it? Absolutely. But like I said, moving forward, just these few different things, these few features that I talked about in this video, why I'm going to be kind of moving towards the Mini 3 as far as recommendations go. That's definitely where I'll probably be leaning towards in 2023 based on my experience and how I've been using the drones recently. Now, of course, I have a ton of in-depth videos going through these two drones right here. So if you guys want more information, I'll leave those links down below in the video description. Once again, huge thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you guys are looking at building your online brand and online presence, make sure you guys check out the link down below, squarespace.com/FlytPath. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. This is Ultra Stasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.